This is Human Warnings. This will be a ramble, and if you don't like the deep end, then go back to the shallow end. Commentary on Spider-Man Far From Home. Endgame was basically the ending of my interest in the Marvel, the MCU. But I love Spider-Man, even though I don't like these movies. I think Spider-Man Homecoming, he was too comedic. There was never any stakes, and they made him a fanboy of Tony Stark. I'm actually happy that Spider-Man is returning to Sony because I don't think it could be worse than what they're doing with him in these movies, even though they're cute and they fit into the MCU. So what prompted this video was that I'm watching it, I'm 15 minutes in, and Peter's best friend, the fat little Asian kid, manages to become the boyfriend of Betty Brant, who's this gorgeous little blonde girl, right? And I'm thinking, I'm sorry, this would not happen in real life. In the Disney universe, with Disney princesses and shit, sure, that would happen. In a perfect world, that would happen. But it doesn't happen in real life. A pretty blonde girl generally is going to go for a tall guy, or a guy with money, or a guy who's got a nice car, or who's popular, not for the nerd who plays video games, or who's like fat. And I'm sorry, an Asian. Generally, Asians they don't get a lot of, they don't have a lot of, girls aren't the most attracted to them. They're popular, they're famous for having tiny penises. No, I don't think it's a bad thing intrinsically, it's a good thing, but it takes me out of reality. I'm just like, this is not believable, this would never happen. Or how the little Middle Eastern kid, or Indian kid, plays Flash Thompson and he's a bully. Sorry, bullies are not little, and they're generally not Indian, not in North America. Or maybe I'm out of touch. Maybe bullies are Indian in North America. They weren't when I was a kid. I think the next step is to have an obese superhero, because the obese people should say, what's wrong with being obese? It's just as beautiful as being regular weight. We should have an obese Superman, and also a mentally retarded Superman. Because they're a whole demographic and they need to be, stood up for. And also, of course, like the age-old one, we should have midgets in the NBA. So far, I kind of like the movie, only in the extent that they make references to Endgame and the blip. Otherwise, I'm not expecting a good movie. And this should probably solidify the fact that Phase 4 is going to be shit. And now that they've lost Spider-Man, they've really got nobody. Another thing is that his age is just wrong. It's Spider-Man, not Spider-Boy. I'm sure in the comics he's 16 or 18, but it probably works better in the comics if he's that age. And, those, like Beverly Hills 90210, those soap opera teen shows, it's always a 25-year-old playing a 16-year-old. Because you don't want to see Spider-Man be a little fucking kid, like a 14-year-old. He looks like a 14-year-old. And when you think about it, Disney is really giving all this false hope to minorities everywhere. Like, and not just minorities, but everything. Like, the world doesn't work like this. So every fat Asian kid that watches this movie is going to see how the fat Asian kid in this movie just had to sip aside a pretty blonde girl on the bus or on the plane in order for her to be his girlfriend. It's that easy. And they're going to go out and they're going to ride on the plane and hope that happens with them, and it's not going to happen. Yeah, and again, like, they've made the fat Asian kid a Mary Sue because he gets a gorgeous blonde girl magically, just automatically, with no effort. And there's no fun in that. And, just in the same way that Ray, there's no fun in having them be overpowered for no reason. Like, if you really want to have a subplot where a fat, ugly Asian kid gets a hot girlfriend, you should at least, show it. Show how he overcomes the boundaries of, her stereotypical judgment of him and his obesity and his race and his, lack of attractiveness. At least show that. That would be gripping. That would be interesting. Same way, if you want to show a woman be powerful, show the adversity she overcomes. And if you want Flash Thompson to be an Indian and a bully, show why he's a bully, how he has power. Is he spoiled rich? Is he like manipulative and he gets all the jocks to like do whatever he wants because he's rich? And why is he a bully? Is it because, back home in India, he was always treated badly, or white people were always mean to him? Show something, like show the story. Don't just have him automatic, because it's not realistic and it's also not engaging. He's also a Mary Sue bully. And not to mention, he's not big enough to be a bully. I mean, bullies are typically big, right? This kid's tiny. Like, everybody would be taller than him and bigger than him in real life. He wouldn't get away with this. And, and he's not even a bully. He doesn't beat anybody up. At least the Flash Thompson in the Spider-Man movie was actually picking on Peter and beating him up. This one just, like, makes taunting, snotty remarks, like, more like Malfoy in Harry Potter. 25 minutes in, it's pretty boring. Maybe this is a high school kid movie. Maybe that's what it is. I'm just too old for this, but I don't think that's how it works. I don't think high school kids like high school kid movies. I think good movies are good movies. So far, this is just so flaky. Mysterio, I don't like Jake Gyllenhaal because I think he's very ugly, and I think that might be partly because I think he has similar eyes to my own. They're too close together. I find him really ugly. I can't stand any movie that he's in. I think I've really made all the points I wanted to make. We'll see how much longer this commentary of mine is, but I'm really not enjoying this movie. Like, I'm just as happy to turn it off, watch a little bit at a time. The end game, the MCU references are the only thing that really makes me want to watch this. In fact, it's actually kind of depressing to watch because you just are reminded that the whole thing's over. The Endgame ended it all. This is like a PS, at the end of a letter. Like, by the way, this is how things turned out. Yeah, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to watch. Maybe I'll watch it later or something. I don't like this. 30 minutes in, I quit. If you like gays, click like. If you like blacks, comment. If you like women, click notification bell. If you like gay women, subscribe. And if you like gay black women, Patreon, human warnings, give me money. I'm sick of seeing Spider-Man portrayed as such a pussy, and everybody being better than him, like Nick Fury and Iron Man and everybody. It's just pathetic. And then they just had a scene where Spider-Man mentions, like, well, where's Captain Marvel? And Nick Fury goes, don't invoke her name. I guess because she's so amazing, right? Like, I don't like the way they're trying to, like, tell me that I love Captain Marvel and that she's amazing. Anyways, I really appreciate people that, the few people that watch my videos, because I'd like to think, I like to think quality is better than quantity, and that the few people who are watching my videos are actually free-thinking people, not the ones who just, like, watch Doomcock and say, "Hail Doomcock, you're the best," or who watch Geeks and Gamers and what are the other ones? World Class Bullshitters and Ethan Van Sciver. People who just like to be fans. I don't want fans so much as people who actually value thoughts.